mbadi wonal konton jibe laba dawada banko kan anim banko e bandala antala mo nara jan ko dem pour kaje ko kan ka jani tendendi ngam min ka loko wo lokun ni loko min tambida man na ka ja so no kon ka no nyami bari mbulo mo tala do maning but bi ngeda modi mi an ko kafnyo ma fulol min ngeda Yusuf Adi Yunus and then Lamin I decided to bring them here na laji Yusuf mo modi mi an ko nyimman kala kunya fulol in platform mo do nyinam kunya fulanya wala sabanya Lami ate wo mo co-host la at some point. ate mo moldi mi alna ko adalta na la jam bake mi alna ko nga kacha kula a banko kan ngani banko e bandala. Bi funding ke fula wala basiri mbala jam kilim bada United Democratic Party fula nyawani wala mu National People's Party President Barola political party mi alna ko wala ba Gambia banko kan. Jani baduna programo nying kono mba Yusufa Bulala aning jiberale lo malala nyokondo banko kan ngani banko e bandala den senata Lamin na mafo. Yusufa, you are welcome on the podcast.
Yo, barka bake Aliu. The Gambian goal be kondona. Juber lalu meni be Gambia jang anin bang Gambia banda ambassador la wala fulo. Ngana de fangola anin fangola teri ma. O malam fo teri kele ma fo tori malam. And Aliu mba kondona and then he's a good guy, and then be na political party solu, na leader solu, na sympathizer solu, bankola Gambia kanunto na Gambia dingol be mbalbe kontona bafola banku do kolem bali jambi luka na mira ngamenje telefona mira kol konom ni mole kacha kadu banku do ko bukata der kon fombe di amle so I'm happy to be here.
Thank you so much, Yusufa. I'm fanan konda na baga kesu rejang, burka jago kanyang program mo nyingke. Over to you, Lamin. Lamin, bismillah.
Barka bake Aliou kontaan bata pour ka soto jambi mbe tentula wala bake mbe Yusuf fanan tentula bake ala tarola jambi mfe pour ka je ka ku ka chami mo banko la koti mbe jiber lal fanan tentula bake mi yalon ko bi banko kan anim banko e bantala andum banko la alifal mi yalon ko to lem political party leader sul di banko betu kan mbe betu fanan konton na almanda nyin kacambe dunna min kono ay kenyu mo kacati mo jamal ye muna fanje abarka bake Aliou.
Thank you so much, Lamin. Thank you, Yusufa. Ala time what I'll not jump pour kaja nale kaja. Bi kaja nying mbadin kala baka but fana jamal mala bake. So kamala baduna kaja kona kada bakama. Ambasta da dami wala Yusufa di. Yusufa ila party min keda NPP di. Ikeda party di mial nako ya political party jamal so ila party nying kono. Recently, ale min so da wala honorable Mama Kande. I just want to ask you, ale nying keno nyali da for ka Mama Kande ka convince ka join National People Party la aniya tara Mama Kande modi mi anna ko opposition lam alota President Adam Barrow e bandala e kuma jamal for President Adam Barrow masa kundama, but President Adam Barrow, he was able to convince Mama Kande to join him after 10 years in the political fight. Ale nying keno nyali.
Abaraka bake Aliu ila nye wonyin karola alke mwele no. Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible, yes.
Yes. So, ila nyin karo bedi abatale akuma ya fanang pro mol salong mune be kere. Del National People's Party NPP kombe ya lo nyame amantara nugun ni banko kanjang. Anatale as a result of coalition. I'm bring President Barrow from SIDA, membe nyato bela bi wala His Excellency President Adama Barrow. Coalition ole ada sindi. Coalition ole mo mole kafuta nyola ko ngake ku klinti ngamo klinta mbindi mbe bula noma. Ngalala. So birin President Barrow na da la parti lo fanan ama ala coalition to koma. Amam parti force nak pour parti ala parti ala idea bula ya filite ye jot MPP. Ay menke wala nyindi ay parti be accommodate la pour ifana na dum coalition nyum kono ba jila mbe do ko kankilim men kafu nyola birin 2016 na kondina wala. Um na the most recent one is Mama Kanda join NPP. Na mosafo Mama Kande man join NPP kana fo nyama. Ngaf Mama Kande la ani NPP la collaboration men dunda kono sayang. Komi mbe yalo nyame ntel MPP ntel ngaji nyame wala banko ni mbele dendala. And believe telephone every political party me yalo ngon na mantala kankelen na doesn't mean ko nganyo konne. It simple mean ko ndel la taram bulo ngan taram ngasilo menta ko ndel ngaja ko Gambia is better off this way than this way today. o party do ma je ko nyama o yaji a different way therefore ate yaji ko o party nin telde do ko kenola at the time ni mama kan be disagreement na and all other parties is disagreement on Gambia on how the resources of the state should be utilized and the policy of the government and then other factors. So at this point, Mama Naya realized ko is na the main can sign is in overall interest of Gambia and atefana nga jafang de okonole at some of his plan and policies and programs ko politically also and for the sake of stability. I go there's a time for him to come and join with President Barrow Tungandogo Garden of the Banco Dogole. So it's more or less about having a common ground all because you call need to if the two elephants fight the grass suffers. In that case politician will nika nyo sababake. I mean in many cases aka mole aka masakunda and in bankole distract because it put a lot of pressure on in politics and a lot of interest built on politics. I don't know the government also focus more on politics as against the serving the people. So Mamala coming to NPP, it also is a moral booster for NPP as a party as well, and we are not taking it for granted. And then we believe that any other party that is willing and ready to work with us on our shared values and principles. That is to promote democracy in this country, to make sure that peace and stability is maintained, and there is equity and equality in the country, and an evenly distribution of resources in the country. Definitely, we are going to work with everybody. So, Mama, I welcome le, nga MPP, I welcome le, and then we are just like every other coalition partners may along, but they have been there before. Now, coalition partners, they come in sequences, but definitely. One thing stand out wala ko ni agreement no men ni momo ya soro lo den na kawo men ni momo bindala. So our party there is not known to between people who he has a coalition of understanding with to work with.
Yes.
So mamala na is something that nga embrace nga appreciate.
Yusuf Mojamale time in protection near Jibe Mama Kandemo Multimial Noko. He stood against the coalition. The coalition in the sense that government party being out Nyokang, Apurka Jakaya Jembe Bonji in 2016. But Mama went on to contest by himself, showing that he had a commitment to be the president in that country and he believed in that process. 2021, again, he went on to challenge President Barrow. So I wanted to know what went wrong? Like, what is the difference? Is it about Mama Kandala Kafo President Barokam? There is something ideological. Me and Okai Waljako attending President Barrow Walasi at this point in time. Well, it is more of convenient. Like the battlefield is so rosy for him. He lost all his names. People are saying that he lost his grant for President Barrow. So he just Barrow tell him, bro, let's just come and join me. Was this the case?
No, the bottom line is I again in my view Mama wanted to be present just like every other party leaders, like of Ahmad Nkeba, Andy Gomez, Dr. Ismail Sise, my Ahmed Fati, name them. They all are aiming to be president of this country one day. But they are all cognizant of the fact that everybody cannot be a president at the time. But however, everybody can come together and work for the betterment of this country. While one person can lead the country, but the others can join him to lead the country to the desired destination they all wanted. So I believe that Mama and others they have seen themselves in that bigger picture. That I mean, there's a need for us to come together and work as a people, as a team, and to make sure that fanangenda dundi bankola taransilodo. Mfanangam call the one thing stand out, wala mnyindiko. Uh Mama must have seen ko President Moro be menkekang. And if he not if Sira Masakuna Sirangokan, he would have done the same thing, even more, because nobody can do more than the President Moro. That will be very, very um I mean,
Sirinja,
unreasonable
Sirinja will
in
come
that
after
way.
you if you said
But
that.
anybody that go with him, where quickly will stand out. And number two, also, William Indigo, President Barrow, ya quickly for Naitandi, and I think he has been able to convince all his coalition partners, William Indigo. Transparency and honesty in agreement with others. Because political agreement, ni mo be ago, there was an MOU signed between NPP and GDC. And the MOU meant for a simple thing, all of them go get together.
But but
But
but
one thing stand out, all of them to go,
you
the
know,
two leaders must
sorry
have
to
that
cut you
confidence
off.
on each other to work together and build.
Sorry to cut you off, but a lot of people said that they haven't seen the MOU, especially other coalition partners. So if you talk about transparency, Oban Jakala Bakala, because Mojamal ko Mama Kandan President Baroye means sign, nobody have seen it. Is that the fact?
No, but each easy. For example, like our coalition, NPP coalitions, it come in a very unique way. Like I said, the one of the key characteristics of our coalition is the personal integrity of the President Barrow, and being convinced by all other convincing by the all other partners. One is President Barrow kukiling ala animen be dogo ke kan coalition okono. Kukiling be bela ta te fon kukiling ol. Yalong ini moye dogo ke kanani ni dogo is one thing. But kakafumo maka dogo farange is another thing. So Mama Kande, attending NPP le coalition understanding sort. It does not necessarily mean Mama Kande have a coalition with all other parties. They understand. So President Barrow have a unique coalition partnership with each of these parties. And in Quantum Clara, Ibela Kukunago, President Barrow Buka Mojamfa. And in Momo Agita Femu Fenda, Obetar Lafana, Gambia interest all because we are not at the point where Mafolako, President Barrow is on a hot seat, where he can give any kind of agreement with Mama or concession with Mama. We are not in that level in Gambia. So the reality is we are bound to work together. These two individuals, mind you, they are all from the same
Mm.
region, the same constituency, if and the same word. They are all from the same word. So and you more like me along among a bit.
All right.
So they grew up literally together. According to what we got to know now, their parents were very close. Both their mothers and fathers and their wives are very close. So they have that kind of relationship. I mean, it is in a greater interest of these two families alone to work together because honestly, I mean, family they will be very happy to see them together, regardless of, I mean, what transpired in
Yeah.
the past, and they can easily embrace each other. At the end of the day, like I said, I don't think what everyone must say to President Barrow was about personal. It was all about significant disagreement when it comes to policy and program of the government. So if Mama see reason now that I can now work with my brother, I think it's only fair for us and every other partners to embrace that, and welcome him to the merger, to the grand coalition of President
Yeah.
Barrow.
Thank you so much, Yusuf. Jabiro Sini at the back. But I will go to Lamin. Lamin.
And if there's anything we are able to do is we
All right, thank you. So Lamin, I will move to you. I know Yusuf is a little bit behind, but it's okay. I mean, just a couple of seconds. Lamin, are you here with me? So Yusuf have said a lot about the Mama Kande joining NPP. What do you have to say about that before my question will put to you about Mama Kande's join to NPP?
Well, ntaga mera Yusuf ikamiu fa ibe labanda komento ya kumasi wodulato atela banta dama nyanda kumasi la wolto wolem di regional alignment constituency alignment ward alignment and
Mhm.
they are more bondi woloto that ñu moflol betu bota tundu kile wala kan to some extent ibele dindial kenyo kaye kujamalle kenyo kam bile itol be wol betu suti kan niaji be the same thing for the hani cd la quote at one point ka fo komi anim baro fanan dental wonata ke kudi mi alon ko nato betu fanan kala mota kabiri lata nyoka
Mhm.
woto aka munta nyulla la nyokan 50% mu regional alignment neti kaje komi di consolidate the region of URR, which I see no reason to doubt and which I see no reason to contradict because of their constitutional rights. But we're talking about an individual, Nimbankun Kamia Lonko B,
Mhm.
near politic nyajibi, so go about a minke can sign tenting. Womu kuleti mia lonko lana balia baka tangole tamataji. Yo, because mama manke politician ninti Nimbankun Kanjam. Anu ngalone mama had fundamental difference with the president and the NPP per se. Wolem ye simfaminta as far as ilaninta term is concerned. Wolem kabori for a 15-year duration because 10 years will be kumfala by December 5th. So mamala problemo for manke komi the policy aspect of it, but the constitutional aspect of it. That in as much as amantara constitutional kono, but it is part of mamala kamfadal to kaje komi a president manye na tambila two tamla nyimbanku kanya. And I woefully not once, not two, not three times. So ninga omo kilimoje akala president Kamia Lonko is going for a third time, then we know there's a fundamental sabotage Mama Minke as far as in the opposition bench. mama ni nata jibe secondly fana mama be no opposition ol kan abe kachala already with a position that afane minta that we can go in for an independent led. So within 4 months ninga wo mo kilo je kote ke anata bo opposition ol kan atata la president kan woto mbajela ko mi den e twabol coming for drone it's spinless mbajela ko mi woto mama ya tourner nyaonya mama be kala wole nyama because ni wonte moment ada five position o make that atebela free nyinne ke in the opposition bench and afana interest to pour ka president yanin ninga woje atata la president kan sign woto we cannot see komi alata president kan because of president policies developments and what not amanke wodi because nyata wolemu as far as 2021 election o banta president commencé tala do ko la amanke komi abe sino lanu anu mama be nyimban kun kan ola long alone president be do ko la manke bi. So why would Mama leave the opposition bench, 4 months to election and join the presidency because of Kava President Bedoko Minanung auto policy alignment nemo? Ntenga mera wo manke kuti mi alonko, from an honest point of view, Mosa Mama George from that. There should be something mi alonko. It's fundamental, Monyanta Mama George Lamina that Mama is the mole in the opposition. Mama le moti mi alonko, it's implanted in the opposition, pur opposition unity ning, akana keno. Because president at one point I attended banko bela la komi at the social media alkam info mama la ko komi teni mama kanyo mwele womu to nyale tinteni mama kanyo mwele maybe malong ikanyo mwe dulal milto aning environmental milto but honestly president will confirm that it was true that atani mama be conversation sotokan so akamunta mama ning sungole mo aning sumba endilal fanam aning oppositional mo aning president fanam at the same time so wo multi mi alon ko hani misilme yakono ala lanno ning Monyanta wo question na bakel. But like I've said, our constitutional right them to be at any other side of these two sides, either Kataraman Sakunda kan or Katara oppositional kan. Bari hadama diya la karola, mama kule kije mi alon konte maji komi wo I sense make. But usually I mean for the whole BJ, it's an alignment of regional, consolidation of regional votes, constituency and ward level.
So, before me any kind of question on you Mama Kanda Moldi Mianako consistently, I have proven na ko atalam the third biggest political party in the Gambia. For you Marcela Bage, Kabri Mama Kanda ning President Baro Lara Nyokang. Korima Mira President Baro coming for game over. We needed to over the game.
No, you want to see Bage because job is there are factors to Mama Kande Fanan Fionkoni popularity. Near 2016 popularity GB. Another 2016 strong base will be Minto. Yala 2021 popularity GB, another 2021 popular base Fanambet Minto. Then you will know that Mamala popularity can fluctuate based on regional alignments. In 2016, Mama was able to score massively in the Kerewan areas, Jana, Oma Fongola, while she had Nunja Wato Min. And then in 2021, Kabri Yajaminata Mama endorsed Najele Mama, at least in West Coast, Mama 56,000 votes Bondijela out of the 105. And then Niaji West Coast Fanankono massively he scored in Foni region. Aka President Fongo Danjele, aka oppositional Fanan Danje. But let's look at Foni region la voting pattern Benyadil. Because this same Foni region in 2016, la voting pattern Benung 100% Jamele. Then it was Adama Barrow Minka second target, the president currently. Akamin Soto was roughly 200, 300 when Jame will be 6,000 votes in particular constituencies of Foni. Let's say Foni Jarol, Foni Bintang, and the list goes on. So Ning Natanga Jibe, that same vote transcends to Mama Kande Fananka, 4,000, 3,000 Soto, while the others will have some hundreds. Akamunta Jamela block Nine Bekare Faika Mama. But that block is still within the opposition because of Jamaica opposition bench, and that is the No to Alliance. Well, in 2022 parliamentary elections, we ngajele komi nate winol minke mama win je, and then ngajele president fanama win je, UDP fanama win je. So those people that win through the independent ticket, we later realized that this was the number of the No to Alliance member mama. And then as far as we know, all these numbers are outside the ruling government. These numbers are in the opposition. So long yaade me mafo follow aba moming endorse la, we can still say whatever numbers Mamas has, woman numbers that me alonko ake soto nung outside phone. And then wobuka ke number jamad. Because niajibe Mama even in URR, UDP ka Mama Dangel in 2016 ngafol nung barole benunje, baroya dan nunje, Mama contestal. In 2021, ngadan nun tol fana ngadan jele with the right honorable Hussein A&M Dabo nga mama dang the whole region kan in URR. So mama mang sports so mi alon ko regionally isa fo jele mala strong base in 2016 kat blal min fe nun Kerawan baro Kerawan sweep play across board in landslide I am danje bakel. So wata kamunta barola la mama kan coming coming fe tunkare min for draw wala biji is to consolidate the region of URR isaje mama karte min ka diala URR because of ala URR di yakang wo karte ning aseta barola keso kono the constituency level asta barola keso kono the ward level asta barola keso kono. It is a fact that is going to about oppositional batandila wodlal but outside region o nyim fanan kono je abe kolyale you see mama natra ko mi ala opposition ala strength be opposition bencho kanyami natra abota nun somewhere outside URR le say for instance abota nun west coast le wo be kala difficulty leti because ibajala aba west coast vote so letinyala kadi the president but sante nimbe mama kandele foka as an individual mama kande mang elective representative soto let's say nata be elective representative soto in KMC because KMC fanang aka domoni soto jele in some localities in KMC but among hani councilor soto will blal betul and politics is local politics about how many local representatives they mean soto ñulle ka do ko ke la parti to yalla ñulle ka local investment ke la parti to yalla so this is what mainstream to main leadership. This is why as UDP we are very confident with KMC, we are very confident with West Coast, we are also very confident with LRR and beyond because beyond is pulled out. This is the fact on the data that this is why we have local representatives as in councillors, as in national assembly members, as in chairman and mayors. So, but mama muka also to dulal to the regional council. So, akamunta mama bitakan as an individual, ani mol mine along ko their political party subscribers. But from local authority level, mama mang region so to me along ko isa for is having a base as a misamano baroya science and
All right, so janem bida is for Lamin. The last question left again in Gamina, Walam Alpha and Alliance Day. Mintemo na United Democratic Party. Al nim parti jamale bulo du nyokon pour kaje ko ala do koke. Nim parti mo molde mi anno ko kilada lo ya usino dabolo nyaton kala pour kaje ko sembo diala. Ale nyin no nyaadi da foka parti nani ni movement dantam pour que samanan ke convince kalo lo ya usino dabo ko ma ka fasa December election. You are muted, sorry.
Well, mfutata wati la banko ka mi alonko molbe tonyata no bondi kan nyotol. Because ning ko nga coalition of form tenga mira this is a general consensus from all walks of life, from the media, from punditries, political punditries, from every walks of life that ni ko ngata coalition around the world the majority mi alonko le sembo so opposition benjoka wolle ka tambi so that min dole lekang. But at governance level, Nibe Banko Sambala, it becomes a broad-based mutadula ke fongal. This was our position. This was why we go into all these coalition discussions. But it, sorry, na lampo felaba boila jobis.
Very good, iba clear answer,
Okay, so min nata ke political party min nata la UDP kang wolle kata party min lata komi UDP and minfo that we can go in for a party-led. UDP ba min lead letter financial la UDP kan ila kafol mil be no may na la kan isajen sa banko falin no nyami wolle na ta kala UDP ka and other movements million ko fanan to la position ni ilata wall so wala atin na yenje the last week ni na memorandum of understanding signed with these political parties or stakeholders, but this is a massive one per se because Niajibe in 2016 we have at least the same stakeholders that unseated the former president Yaya AJJ Jammeh through Adama Barrow-led coalition. That is the same political party stakeholders that we have as United Democratic Party as far as the Gambia Force Coalition is concerned. And still now the doors are open and we have not finally signed what we call, the document that is going to be used as the document we're going to work this with this country when we come into governance. So Akamunda Mo Jamal Binal al Mini Alonko Ganasi Alafong Katambi what we have in 2016 coalition. So if 2016 coalition was able to unseat a president that was here for 2 decades plus, why can't at the same number of political party stakeholders unseat a president that has spent only a decade? That the possibility is very high. Niajibe, if you have to put these two things on a balance, let's go deeper into that. You remember in 2011, Jammeh scored over 450,000 votes. And then in 2021, Barrow scored over 450,000. But then Jammeh's vote was slight higher than what Barrow scored in 2021. But in 2016, we have a coalition of at least 8 political party stakeholders. And then in 2016, in 2026, UDP is having at least 8 political party stakeholders. Then look at the political gravitas that Jammeh has and then the gravitas that Barrow has today. We will have to give Barrow credit. Make credit deal Barrow because near Jammeh GP that time, political al halo benyimban kunkanyam is very toxic, is very frightening, is very scary. The instruments of violence of states were just unimaginable. Yajele at one point purka political fon kacha fon pur mol mini alongo fon like a grassroots politique. Purka move from one point to the other to go and canvass votes was a problem because more time for you told Seven Yimbang Kunkanyang after elections or before election that Ninja may win and those people are going to be persecuted. Will be able to get it. But right now we are not seeing those kind of tendencies. Intending everybody is going all out in the media to sell your party's agendas in the media, also to go to grassroots and do the grassroots politicking. So if people are able to unseat Jammeh with all those difficult tendencies on the ground, why can't it be possible that with the environment that we are enjoying today, that we are going to win Barrow as far as one region is concerned? Do one thing alone. Mbaftale LRR wato mina vote counting. Obata la Barrow start a parking na odla. Joe in the Barrow over booty la back.
All right, use for you, man. Ako ba deal la general of the URR. So, matona use for Lamin. That is going to be my last question on this topic. Use for niara jibe oppositional bude nung 2021 election kendege. But United Democratic Party were able to flip the script in 2022 and 2023 general other elections in the country. They were able to have the popular vote. So if we are to go by data, recently near the popular vote the UDP was certainly. According to Mesa, are you still optimistic that you're going to beat these people in the landscape? Lamina come to call.
Barimbuga is from Moiko.
Yes, why you are muted. Atala alam alam Michael Nyimang. Our call the money, but our microphone is muted. Sorry. Yes, can you pick that again? We cannot hear you. Can you unmute yourself? Ataba jam kana ya NPP la Michael buka beta bagan. Yes, why Michael ba mute.
I was
Yeah,
muted. I
yeah,
was
yeah.
muted.
You can.
Yes. So yes, I started by saying yes. We are very, very, very much optimistic that we are going to win. But that being said, or that been confirmed, we are going to win this election, inshallah, with 75%. Doesn't matter what they said. Let them say whatever they want to say. I will start with what Lamin said. To say that Mama cannot join NPP because he or we are trying to consolidate regionalism. I think that is not correct assertion. And going by what Lamin himself said, Mama is not that strong in URR. Even in URR, UDP always comes second. Mama come third after Barrow. So obviously that's shown Mama is not a threat to NPP in URR, and he has never been a threat to NPP in URR. And in any case, how many votes did Mama had in URR? Close to close to 4,000 votes, I think, around 4,000 votes. That's what he had entire URR. UDP got the entire URR. UDP got little over 11,000 votes. Meanwhile, President Barrow got over 70 something thousand votes. They are both subtract. If you subtract the both UDP and Mama, President Barrow still got 65,000 votes. So why would you consolidate with someone when you are dealing with this kind of margin? Obviously, that is not a ground for argument. And he also said Mama is even stronger in outside URR than URR, both in the 2016 election and 2021 election. So all those things are clear indication. Mama is not Mama coming to President Barrow. It is not to consolidate any regional politics. But there is a positivity around that when it comes to local level. Obviously, if you come from the same level with someone and you're opposing each other, definitely there's going to be that kind of a barricade at certain level. So obviously, them coming together have kind of lift that barricade from certain people in the community, which is very much embraced. But there's a greater than that.
Yeah.
Okay. And as for the elections results of last year, because whatever UDP and anybody try to say, the available data to us right now is the last December president election. And
How
if you go
how
with
about
that,
how about
adding
mayor
all the
mayor
person together,
election? The
President Barrow was able to
local
give the
government election. You don't
50,000
have
vote,
data for that.
clear all of them, and still have 50,000 vote on his account. And now with Mamba coming with 100 and plus thousand vote, regardless of what the Mamba perceived opposition will say that he's not supposed to join President Barrow, and those vote are Jammeh's vote.
Uh,
I'm
you
coming to that.
can you go
I'm
out
coming to
and
that.
come
I'm
back
coming to
again
that. I'm coming
because
to that. I'm trying to establish something here.
you are a little bit
Mama
behind.
joined President Barrow on one
Can you
principle.
disconnect and
Mama
come back
was
again?
able to. Mama tried to build a coalition with UDP. It failed.
Can you go and come back again?
He tried to build coalition with Talib. It failed. So now the only serious politician that he did not build coalition with, and he is Adam Barrow. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, he's a bit behind, so it's making conversation a little bit difficult, to hear him out. So let's see. Um, Naji before Abina Munanan on time. Isa yan sa kajanyim tendendi. Kumbaga kanyami. Lamin, ako aburo basila leto ko album mala nyun la janin album fatala yuara. West Coast.
Yalo, iswa ka point of me for den thing.
Mm.
Komi mama mang regional storm based. What a man yanta tandili le komi mama is not a threat kalabaroka. Niaja nga udula fai. Nka tandili le komi consolidation. The word consolidation means that job is. Ita kamana niya ta kamana nga lanyo kan so that we can cement the
Mm.
place. But that doesn't mean that mama is a big factor even in URR. But bringing their numbers together means you consolidating the base. Because like, okay, usually I mean for Baro has over 70 something thousand votes, yes.
You can talk now. Can you hear us?
So let me put this down. If Baro has over 70 something thousand, imagine me
I
mama
I cannot hear you. I don't know. Um, maybe ila pause ni mantara work. No, imantara muting, but I cannot hear you. Maybe it's a Bluetooth on you disconnect. Mara, face up. I cannot hear you now. Maybe it's ila maya ko jibe fa lori never. No, I cannot hear you. Maybe it's a diamo. No, you can disconnect and connect back again. Yeah, let's try it. I mean, I come to go be useful. I see that the sirang can be. I come to go is so serious sirang can be. Let's see, he's back again. Mm. Lami, that's from even mute net.
Jobis.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, my boss. Are you here with us? Hello, Yus. Yus. Mbake mo. Lami feka Yus man.
Mbuka.
Oh my goodness.
Yo,
This is so.
nkemo sa.
You get more?
Yeah, nkemo sa. Yeah.
Okay, but I'm not seeing myself though.
You're gonna see yourself. You're here. We are seeing you. Ntal beje ka.
Okay, you guys are seeing me, right?
Yeah, ntal beje ka.
Yeah, no.
Then
Okay, I
it's a
think the
this.
network is kind of. So anyway,
Yeah, it's a network. Go ahead.
so can I go?
Yeah, you can go ahead. Yeah.
Good. Coming for, I think I have to a little bit of Mama Kane Laku and Mama Kane issue. So I'll go to the for the sake of time, I will go straight to
To
last
the
parliamentary
elections.
election.
Yes. Yeah.
You see, what happened? Yes, what happened in last parliamentary election is some of us have forecasted that. Okay, I have to be honest with you and with Gambian people. I have forecasted that kind of failure coming from NPP, and anybody who actually followed my Facebook commentary, you would know that I'm speaking. I was speaking from that direction. From parliamentary elections, I remember having interview immediately after the election at the Star TV, and I gave my perspective as to what MPP should do with the margin, with the victory that we have, because we were given a clear mandate of 5 years in a landslide victory to the president. And what my first caution towards to the leadership and to the party that we must take this mandate very seriously, and Gambians must start seeing changes immediately, and then because they believe that President Barrow was being held back by United Democratic Party and their supporters. And as a result, there was too much belittleness towards the president. There was too much anger and frustration towards UDP, and people were very angry with UDP. And as a result, people vote massively to the president. And what I said is there need for immediate changes in almost all angles, and MPP also having responsibility to treat this victory with utmost care and responsibility, and not to take it for granted, and Gambian for granted rather. So, but what happened after that is we've seen the some level of confidence, some level of exuberance from so many people's side, and as a result, there was no proper coordination in the candidate selection. There was, clear relaxation from also those that were given ticket to campaign and to campaign for the party, because many people believe that President Moro, having won landslide in all most of these constituencies that were even UDP constituency, for example, if you go to Birikama, most of our constituencies there, we won, the President MPP won. If you come to KMC, you go to URR, you go to NBR, literally President Moro won across the board. So the candidate selection was becoming problematic for us, and the way and manner campaign was coordinated. So definitely, and of course, there was also what we call voter apathy, because many people doesn't have appetite in participating in these local elections. So UDP having a very strong base, definitely. There are people who go out and vote, especially in greater Banjul areas. If you and that was why they were able to get those kind of numbers that they have. And then, but that doesn't mean that they have a popular vote. If you go to local government election, for instance, the council election, UDP got more councillors in KMC than way more than MPP. But if you add the vote together, MPP have the popular vote. Okay. If you go to the mayoral itself, that's when UDP have popular vote. But in council election, MPP have the popular vote while UDP won the more seats.
Right.
But that is different. This local government and the presidential election is completely different thing. And then when
But
people
yes,
Makan
yes.
came to join
How would
us,
you
we NPP
um
coalition believe we
I
are
just
going
have
to
a
win
follow-up
this
question.
election.
How would you reconcile these two accounts? Presidential election was in December, and then National Assembly election was in April. Just a 5 months, Allah celebration on Allah Buj Bajol Kola. You receive a huge amount of defeat from UDP. I want you to understand. I want you to make us to understand what went wrong, if not about the UDP popularity, because it was shameful. President Adamboro won entire West Coast region, but when it comes to National Assembly election, he barely got even a single seat. He got only one. That was Honorable Cisse. Don't you think UDP were able to consolidate that?
Like that is what I said. And that's what I said. I said the reason why we have what we had then is we were a little bit relaxed immediately after the election. Our candidate selections were problematic to many of us, and people were working against themselves. So MPP now, I keep saying it, is more organized structurally, more prepared to participate and conduct and coordinate elections. Last election, immediately we came out of elections, so the whole thing just turned upside down, and people were not focusing more on the party interests, but people were focused on the individual interests. And then as a result, some people also went ahead and have what we call imposition of candidate, imposing candidate on people as against what people want. So people work themselves against themselves, and then everybody lost out. So if you look at it, that problem was very much in KMC and West Coast. And for me, I've said it immediately after the election, MPP must take the victory very seriously. Must not take the victory government for granted with this victory. There was a need for immediate changes. There was a need for certain decisions to be taken immediately for the people to know that what we voted for, there's going to be changes. But then that did not happen on time. And then when it comes to political atmosphere as well, a lot of people were keeping quiet. A lot of people that have a position of influence use their position to impose candidate on people when they knew very well people does not like certain candidate. For example, I'm talking about the parliamentary elections. So candidate also NPP also have a lot of internal independent candidates working against themselves. So everybody think that he's going to win, he or her going to win. So at the end of the day, just like this election, when there's a too many candidates against from within, obviously you are bound to help your opposition to win election. That's what happened to NPP. We helped the opposition to win election. We actually helped UDP to bounce back because UDP was literally dead.
All right.
Because at the mayoral election, the Taliban that they are talking about, at the parliamentary election, the Taliban they are talking about was not campaigning for UDP. Everybody know it.
Oh,
It was when UDP bounced back after the parliamentary election, Taliban now have courage to even start thinking about coming back.
so you said Taliban was not campaigning for UDP in what?
So MPP helped UDP to come back, but that's good for
No,
us. That helped
you
them
talked
to
about Talib. You say he was not campaigning for.
in mayoral elections. That's what we are told.
Okay. All right.
In parliamentary election, I said after the victory, after
Here's
NPP
life.
victory, December election in 2021, immediately that we went for parliamentary elections. So the parliamentary elections, people were so give up. UDP, many people have given
All
up
right. So, all right.
because what they were meant to believe is not there. They don't never thought the president was going to win this big with this big margin, and he got it.
Yeah.
So many of them give up. I had included Taliban too that he was not interested in whatever UDP does.
Yeah.
And it was when MPP worked against itself, UDP now bounced back with certain 18 members of parliament. People like Taliban and others began to, prepare, reorganize themselves to position themselves within UDP.
I believe that they were.
But that is different from presidential
Yeah.
election. Presidential election is
I
completely
believe they
different.
were really hate after the presidential elections. Lamin, what do you have to say on that before we will move into the next topic? Just summarize that and then we move to the next topic.
Yeah, I think use formal numbers when you understand. In the councillorship election, they have the majority by numbers of seats they have, but we have the majority by electoral votes. That is the turnout. We were having at least 146,000 plus, whilst they were having 137,000 plus. Then we go to mayoral also, we have over the majority Fananje, over 200,000, maybe 190 something thousand. So they have majority.
No, for
Unmute.
Go ahead,
Is it
Yusuf. You want to challenge? Okay, go ahead.
Yusuf, you want to challenge?
not
No.
nationwide.
Okay. Can you pick
Because
that
I
again?
said when I said majority, I was talking about KMC, not the nationwide.
Okay. So
I
Jovis,
said
what
what
kind
I meant by the majority. I'm talking about the KMC alone, not the
okay.
nationwide.
Okay. So now the fact of the matter is this, Jovis. You
Mhm.
cannot have over 450,000. We have not seen the massive victory celebration. More Moljeje, that is one suspicion. Two, we go into at least two other elections or three. Data parliamentary fanang, Mawo Mol fananjeje, data local government fanang, mayoral ning chairmanship, Mawo Mol jeje. And I'm talking about them having 100,000 plus, less than even 200,000. We go into councillorship fanang, Mawo Mol jeje. So usually they have failed to or consistently fail to galvanize voters across three different elections as far as the National Assembly, mayoral, and then councillorship is concerned. What I can no coincidence. And you cannot call that failure. Job is there's a fundamental problem there. Because Ntol, after losing, I think if people should be demoralized, should be the fans of the United Democratic Party. Because first, they want to go and protest in the street, the results. No, not in my name. They go home agitated, disgruntled. People are like, but even with that, we were able to secure majority across these three subsequent elections. And after enjoying 450,000 votes, Jobis, you failed to secure even 200,000 votes across your election. You cannot tell us, Komi, Mole Buka Sonka Findi. That should be from the United Democratic Party because of your Bute and Wole Findi in their numbers during campaign. So Nimman now where they are transcended to numbers in the election and we want to contest it in court. I think the only people that are disgruntled, that are dissatisfied with the result and the Manyana Talakare Fayola should be perceived from the United Democratic Party, not the NPP. They were already celebrating and jubilant, and they want to win across board. Politics is not all about putting the presidency. You need local government, you need national assembly. These are not small stakeholders in governance. So why weren't they able to have the same numbers, at least 200,000? Will say, okay, half of the numbers were out to come on board, but less than half of the numbers that you secure presidential. Jobis, Womang is not scientific. Yeah, family. Well, even science cannot even explain that because people can understand no. 200,000 jobs out of 450,000 within 4 months or so, you fail consistently to even have 200,000 in a particular election. So, woman ke kavo komi ya mol min tombo mol man lafi wala one. There is a serious fundamental problem imam min for mol, and which I know Yusufa doesn't know. But this time around, people will know. That's all.
Yes, why here with us? Hello, Yus. I cannot hear you though. Like I cannot see your face. I cannot hear you
Hey,
either.
Joyce,
Huh?
Joyce, they are going. These are signs. Imagine a
Um,
whole national students wing president struggling with internet and whatnot. Opposition ya start like a attending. Ndolbe ninde kono. Opposition ya ajankaro for the use for Malaysia intending. Mfele jang mbe cool mbe internet o enjoy kan job is fana fele la rimbala lambo borela. Ndolbe nyambe government already. We started it.
is why I cannot see you. And then I cannot hear you. I don't know. Perhaps it's your network. I already
Incoming oppositions.
I already added you. But Lamin beto je kana be because atala nindo ko get sending nindo but say I come to go kusino dawe go diara. Um I cannot get used for I don't know what's the problem. Um Still now I cannot see his face. Hello Tunkara. Hello? Yeah, I believe his network is very, very bad over there. Oh, you are good. You are good. Thank you, Jale. You can speak. Let me hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Na ya
Uh,
modole en call nung so call
yeah,
le
all the
na
time.
ya lo
Near call, ila camera kata. Under for near call,
la
Javitan off totally.
Lamin ya last time no birimbe danu aka off and on ne.
Yeah.
So the election is go so election is fast approaching. Ya like ika nyine ke de poso ya last election menkata UDP la
uh,
ye chalo lo president uzenda bula korda dala. I went there and said myself ye podium lo
yeah, na
even three
Nathan
screen
address.
ka dame.
Kana Nathan address.
Yeah, even plana ne command. Kadula be fengo yena CJ. Only for you to not for you not to be announced, obviously. But what shocks me is why with that kind of confidence? Because he's saying that main fundamentally that is there's nothing fundamentally that I don't know because last election, this election I might be very visible out there, but last election I was very much working behind the scene. Okay. And then I serve as a lead polling supervisor in my area. Very so many polling stations. I was the one supervising them. So
In
definitely we know
Alba
exactly
Benda,
what happened and
Alba
nothing
Benda,
outside
filo
the
kono.
people coming out and vote.
Campaign of Semis Avastana, Alba Benda filo kono. But I just want to
Bendele
speak
No,
to
sateko.
when you I'm mental already. I tell you what
Bendele
we
sateko.
have already started meeting places.
you.
So let me address to let me address. Yes, we met in my community, so he know what is there. So, but in a more serious note, like I said, parliamentary elections cannot be used as yardstick. Like in parliamentary elections, people are not that much interested to go out to vote. That is the reality. Like in parliamentary elections was during Ramadan. Many people did not go out to vote. And like I said, MPP, from our part, people work against themselves because you have a place where you have a one or more than one candidate, all were supporting the NPP, and now they all want to contest. And the party was not able to stop them and support one candidate. There was no room, or they were not able to build that kind of consensus to support individual candidate as against everybody's desires and one. And of
Yeah.
course, you also know the coalition building is not easy because there's in some parties, even the party leader said no. There are big group who will go out, they will go, no, until Mandason Nanina. Until Lamobe Lolale, Kata Telebe Winajang. So everybody want everyone to live for another. So if you don't, they will keep, people were working against themselves. That's what happened. I hope and pray this time around after election, Nibaro winter, Awodekela, that's what I pray. But it's going to be very tough parliamentary election again for us after
I
this.
understand your
For
point.
presidency, I mean, I worry no more.
Yeah, it really makes sense though. I understand your point a bit. But now I just want to move to Independent Electoral Commission. UDP get a party to me and Nako, they have been following the process from the beginning to the end. And then they were not happy with certain things that happened there. And you people also, Allah mole bijela. But imagine Allah mole press a in Purkaje to standing against of some of these minor registration that is going on, or some of irregularities me and Loka by caring as far as voter registration process is going on. It's only UDP as a political party that we have seen them, going to the court to challenge some of those irregularities. Are we safe to say that you are in cahoot with IEC in these, irregularities?
Is it, is it, is it, the problem that UDP have is, I'll get more,
Yeah, Gamuel, go
I'll get
ahead.
more.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you hear me? Hello? Yes. So UDP ka IC oppose. Yes. So UDP a problem also though. Ilela problem mendi. They always try to blame somebody, but they will never take responsibility for anything. Ikabula mol no moko modol ka register ol man ka register. Nobody on his right senses will go and register minors. Nobody will do that. But even nakeda, mole kaito di mole register. Why would you accuse IEC for that? The law is clear. Who changed that law? Well, law member nunjang where restriction on voter registration. But yeah, falling. So do we have a perfect voter registration system? I think no. But IEC, they are empires responsible for conducting elections. So if you are to participate in elections, and you are questioning integrity, there's nothing wrong with, being critical and questioning the integrity of a process. And IEC so far, they are complying with whatever is there, and they are updating people. I am not a spokesperson for IEC,
But you so
and I am not holding brief for them either.
what I'm trying
But
to
what I
put
am
forward
saying
here.
is,
I know you are a little
it
bit
alone
behind.
body member electoral conduct
But
laja.
what I'm trying to put forward here is
And
UDP
then
has
you have
challenges
already
the
called
roster
the number of
that
people that
IEC was
Yajeko
not
didn't
able.
want limit. They also tell us the number of people that the Yajeko they were double registration. So Ndela MPP, Ndela as a party, Ndela as a party.
Yeah, so let me ask the question so they can continue. Mbaminyine kaka wolam ko
So
UDP ya kujima
you
election.
pick up Menke. We are going for election. The last voter registration, it was supplementary voter registration. For God's sake. How many people registered? Those people, even if they all vote for one party, what is the significance of those people registered?
Go ahead. It looks like you are behind though. I don't know whether you can disconnect and come back again so that we can.
UDP, yeah?
I said you can disconnect and come back again so that we'll be on the same line. If not, it's gonna be very
Hello?
difficult to have a conversation.
Right.
Uh,
Bindele kira laminti, but bindele kira laminti.
it's a fin no.
Yeah, ngo bindele kira laminti, ngo wale fo.
Yeah, you can go out and come back again. I think that would be really good.
Oh, I'm behind, right?
Yeah, you can
Okay,
go. Yeah, you
okay.
had
Let
like
me try again.
30 seconds or so, bro. Like, that's crazy. Lamin, so what I was trying to ask him was that all these irregularities, me and Kabita can Kabir Rosta Findimni, Najala Patia challenge, the minor registration and other issues, me and Loko, the majority of the Gambian believe that is not inconsistent with what need to be done. Alia challenge. But we haven't heard them talking about it. That's why I'm trying to ask him whether he's very complicit in these whole issues. But he's yet to be back. Lamin, what are some of the things that you guys have challenged before he will come?
Well, yeah, long. I'm Yusuf just want to navigate around. Mobukala coming from for because Jovis, and then you use for bend the usual lasati from Baniko. So Minketa Wodula to that very day. It's very well. Because until we are not in the mood for model political Kenya, I mean, whatever is happening, you video it and then you send it out. But
Mhm.
there was a serious problem on the ground. Kirim basi bakatongo. Me along ko fonka du nyote maje. Yusup was there mije. Basi ekon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Lumalesa nyo
Kirim
maramra.
basu bakatongo ole boyje. Nata labantala salola. Nata ndiata ngate amin. Janjani.
But
You
not,
know,
let me bring him
you
back.
know,
Yusuf, are you with me? Are you with me?
Well, I don't know.
Are you with
Yes,
me?
I've been out here.
Yeah, it's better
Yes,
now.
am I here now?
Yeah, you are. It's
Yes,
better.
yes, yes.
It's better.
Okay,
All right.
good.
You got to
Thanks.
continue. So
And it's good.
let me ask my question again so that you can understand it. So what I'm trying to put forward is that
Okay.
Kabiring IEC and roster Findindi, there is an omission of almost 20,000 plus people. Minana ko ito man Findi. And in 2016, yeah, Jembening coalition was 19,000 nabiye. So a lot of political commentators insinuate that that number was very significant for IEC to omit that. And subsequently, Najanoko UDP, now they are taking some cases to court. But your party has been very, very silent with regards to some of these irregularities. So some political commentators said you guys might be complicit, in the works of IEC, what IEC is trying to actually put forward. What's your reaction on that?
No, UDP approach is go to public with whatever you want to do. MPP approach it, follow the process and get the right thing done. So we are two parallel groups.
All right, what did you
When we
guys do?
have issues and concerns, we
Mhm.
follow the processes.
What are those processes? Like, Alkamunake.
That's what we do. If you have issues and concerns, well, there's a process within. I mean, going to TV and saying what you want to say, it's not a process. Is you want to go to the public and say, this is what I want to do, this is what I see. But the process is there. To appeal is there. To query is there. If you have issues, you know how to do it. I see they have what we call, how do you call it? They have a group called, I forget the name of the group, but all the political parties that are there, and those groups serve as a principal advisor to the IEC, and they're critical stakeholders because each party's political registered political party has a member, one or two
It's
people in that group.
inter-party committee,
So
something
they are
like
the one that deal with IEC Inter-party committee, exactly. So they are the one that deal with any issues that when it comes to election, voter registration, and when IEC is having communicating the voter issue to parties, they usually communicate everything that comes with it, including the process and procedures. That if you want to query any decision, if you disagree with any decisions, so those things are communicated to the political parties. So IEC, they are referees. We do not want to put a referee in a situation where we can disagree with IEC behind the scene. They would know that this is our stand, and we don't think this is the right thing to be done. And IEC are the body that listen to everybody. So for me, I'm not speaking for them, but I believe that
so can you give
our
us a
electoral
scenario,
body, as it
Mr.
currently constituted.
Mr. Tunkara, can you give us a scenario whereby you personally you disagree with IEC's process from the beginning to the end, and you raise the matter before your people, and something has
Okay,
been done?
not only only the matter of my people, but even to IEC official. For example, when we were registering during the voter registration processes, right? Um, by law, you either have a passport or Gambian birth certificate. If you don't have passport, you don't have ID, you don't have a birth certificate, you have what we call attestation, alcalo attestation. That's the law. Okay? You will find IEC people, member of IEC staff, will come and tell, I will look at somebody from the face with alcalo attestation and tell that person, you are a kid, you cannot be registered. And alcalo will tell you, no, boko gisnede makla. So by law, once somebody was able, because everybody should have their boundaries. The boundary is once Alcalo is the one that qualified to stamp, and the person he stamped it and said yes, he have it. As the IEC officer, I don't think you have any right to question that person again, unless if the person come to you first and tell you that I am 17, and he went back and come with Alcalo document, then you have every right to say no, I'm not taking. Even at that, you cannot listen to a minor over his or her parents, isn't it? But anybody who is below 18, he cannot decide for himself. If he doesn't have a document, his parents take him to Alcalo until Alcalo kisuma domla.
But
Warning mun am
Yusuf,
voters
Yusuf,
card.
what are some of the yardstick that the
If
Alcalo use?
Alcalo trusts the father
That,
and know that yes, father will feel like joge, I mean, he's his daughter or son. That's for me. I disagree.
I
Of
was
course,
trying to tell.
that's
I
what
was
I'm.
trying
That is,
to.
After is about law. It's not about me putting up the yardstick. The law is very clear. The law says that Alcalo, I do want to do attestation, and the attestation given by Alcalo, that's his responsibility. Alcalo should be responsible enough to know first who live in my community.
But can
Secondly,
Alcalo know everybody in the
Alcalo should
community?
have a processes that will determine whose son is who. You're not adopting somebody's son. Well, that is unfortunately that is the law. So
So
if
are
that
you
is the
in for
law, I disagree
attestation?
with that part of the law. If
Are
that
you
is
in
the
for
law,
attestation? Are
for
you in for
instance,
attestation in
and
the first
now,
place? Are you in for attestation in the first place?
well, I don't have a problem, but I think it really needs to be strengthened because it brings a lot of problem between the IEC and the communities. Sometimes IEC will be wrong. Sometimes communities are wrong. Because
Yes.
the mistake is, I saw that IEC staff will tell people that no, and when they go deep inside, you see that person is older than the age that they are presented. Why? Because of the person shape. Because you cannot also look at somebody from the Tanzania ki halela, and number two, you're not from the community. Alcalo is from the community. So Momala Luabi do attestation. If there's any wrongdoing by Alcalo's side, is revising court will punish Alcalo, not you, the IEC officer. So it brings a lot of chaos between the political parties and the IEC and the community. So all those things are something that is right by our constitution. And people it should be very easy to vote. That's the truth. We should not make voting process very difficult. There should be no stringency on when it comes to requiring your voter's card. If you go to the West, you don't through all these processes. Everybody should have their birth certificate ready. Let government take that as a responsibility. Everybody should have birth certificate ready. So once you're going to
Yeah.
vote, nobody should be in this country born here without a birth certificate. That's the bottom line. So
Yeah.
if that is
I think.
available by government data, there is no need for alcohol attestation in the first place.
Yeah. So I think that was
So
a
if
that's
we
a
cannot
great.
use alcohol, because you don't have to bring a law just to target particular issue, but birth certificate should be a primary responsibility of government to provide to every citizen. So that even if if IEC put your name in the system, they will get it. They will know that yeah, you are right.
Yeah. I think that's a good recommendation from
For
that
me, that's
point.
my submission.
Yeah, that's a great recommendation from N. Lamin, what do you have to say? I mean, I put question to
Because
you.
sometimes people fight over you might even help someone to get a voter's card. But you are not sure of that person will vote for your party.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
you can't determine who vote for who.
Yeah, I'll go to Lamin now. Lamin, are you here with me? His first network, his first is a little bit behind though, but I'm
No,
trying to catch up with him.
I think the reason why you remember we did have a serious problem at Banico at one point before Ngata Salol. And part of the problem was that job is sometimes nita to use low community to mulka bonam from the neighboring Casamance region tole kana ke dingol kamanan kana kuran tankola o community to. And I think these things even happens na combos jam mulka bonam Casamance kana kuran tankola jam.
Yeah.
But those same people mini along ko kabona wo satel neighboring satel to ila mole sama kuran tankola iso la satel to. We've seen them registered. Because ntol fanan nga molle sindije as pooling agents mil musate dingol ko isom sate dingol ti nyam and wo satel the opportunity is albe kanyolo ne alkanyola alifallo alkanyola dimbal moso momota de sanji tanin so bika to leka seno ke nyoka atol leka football ke nyoka atol leka kujamal ke nyoka so momo nata karangolo wo sate to de no nyindo boda nyi sate kare to nata karangol bari nga alkalo de la ko mo sifal attest. So IEC la ko is a matter of public interest because this is why at one point, IEC public communication kele in writing and also in spoken words. Puruka for any more mini alonko stakeholder from other political parties, you can see kacha ila observation as far as the process is concerned. So until as the United Democratic Party, if you also have to discuss these things in public, I don't think you should see us otherwise because
Which of
IEC
the
itself is
alcalde
doing
have
it
you
in
seen
public.
is doing that? You are making allegation. Which of the hold on.
Okay.
Araw ko male. Ngaraw ko
Ako,
mas. Ako alkalo jamale dino attest. Minana ko talbe ne wallo. Because
This is why I'm just trying to give him a sequence of events. This is why in Baniko alone, we have at least a very good number of people mini alonko we've registered them as suspects based on mol mini alonko be siri nunje pati toyala. But yalo Yusufa manyin call for him. He's not in line with what election processes is all about. This is why I can go along ndol mbuka call for sandong ka ke dumale. Ama faham. But lafla yani nga from pura along ka ma faham. The objection for morning, Jumalile Kajuma object. Is it political party objection or what not? So that we will know if in fact you swear understand ne me for kanyang. Because now more understand, you will have to give me at least a very good number of time nga fay kol ka tama nyami. Let him answer my question for I alone tonya bang ning revising code kol be nyadile and how do you lodge your complaint as far as IEC learning registration or minkere supplementary, the suspected cases are concerned. Now more then I can give him a breakdown of the issues. Then now long mba glance like dronga time. Let me know that from you.
his face a bit behind, but I believe he have had a connection. Let's give him 30 seconds. Okay, Bimbo, Chocho, baby.
I actually heard what he's saying. Can you see me?
Yeah. I don't know Karo
Can
Kajana
you see
Binata.
me? Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Mm-hmm.
Hi. I
Yes.
am really behind.
Yeah, his way is far behind. But Labi, I mean, you can continue on that, Even mute in a sign and then is for Binal Nakara. Yes, network
You
is
see, some of these political parties, because they do not have interest in the opposition benbol lefoka, interest to monitor IEC through this registration of intermittent and supplementary,
Mhm.
neither the ruling party NPP have interest because they were the ones doing these activities. So until as the United Democratic Party, the reason why we are loud, both in the opposition space and from the NPP point, it's because we know the reason and we are actively
Am I
involved
audible?
and engaged.
Yes, yeah, audible. Can you hear us?
Yes.
All right, go ahead with Lamin's
I
question.
think you guys have to, man. I have.
No, we can
Can
hear
I?
you
Am
now.
I audible now?
Yeah, loud and clear now.
Okay. So I think I heard what Lamin said. If I know the process that lead to the,
Revising code.
is that the question?
Yeah. Yeah.
Revising code.
Mhm.
Okay. I want Lamin to understand that we are not here to adjudicate or to educate each other on processes. If you have an idea on how the process is when it comes to appealing, I mean, you are free to provide that service to your party, not to me. I do not have to argue with you on the processes. Like I said, I have my responsibility. They they always believe in that notion, within this kind of notion that people does not understand issues, they understand better. And for me, that has been my one of my problem with UDP people. The fact that somebody choose not to talk about certain things does not mean that they are ignorant of that. So, but that is their mantra. He made mention of my community. That is not true. That there are people that came there, and of course, you are okay when you said they are alleged. I like that word because, but you cannot make a specific accusation against a community when it comes to voter registration. You will have to prove that in the, I don't know, you go to the appealing court or wherever you go to. I do not want to speak about who is qualified, who isn't qualified. That is not for me. I am not the Alcalo. I didn't stamp. And if anybody have any suspect, you are free to go to revising court and appeal for that. You don't have to come to the public and be the adjudicator for that case. Is if you have any substantive case, I mean, you are free to go and appeal for that. For me, that's what I have to say for that.
Yeah, yes,
As
for
with
before I
regard to
got
the IEC, I have said what I think of IEC, and if anybody have issue with it, you deal with it. And
yeah.
then if UDP have a superior knowledge, on how to conduct election, include Lamin, I mean, that they are free to do that.
Lamin, you are muted, but I just want us to go to
Yeah,
last topic.
on Jovis. I think na taro jamu puru.
Am
Nsa
I
kumol
audible now?
pesade the
Yeah,
viewers will learn from what we are saying. But if
Am
we
I
do not
audible?
know also,
yeah. You're
it
audible.
becomes
Oh, you're audible. Yeah. Go ahead, Lamin.
very
Can you hear
difficult.
me?
Yeah, I
Yes,
can hear you. It's just that you're a bit behind, but I can hear you.
Webo position olekang. It started now. You accept defeat. So mimbi je job is then you should be taro jamu so that we can discuss matters regarding our parties, regarding the communities, regarding processes. So not knowing those processes, I think it's important that you have a man understanding sort of processes nyinkang. Because if you start throwing tantrums, ka for me, nyundol na vengere to kata medial to ka ketentine. That means that atoli alonest aka kenyaming, but alman tara ke kan santola nonko natara punya tonya. Aya alone fongo. Then we can discuss it heads on. But now malong abavoka UDP kata medial kanyinke. Until we know the way. As a keno ate mo long. So
Mhm.
left like a way in the fire ka kenyaming and others that are also viewing so that it's our understanding Kolka Kenyami. Yes, Ngela community for them. And then the reason why they institute these revising codes is because UDP has a representative at Baniko Center. And this representative at Baniko Center, Molemi Alonko is taking notes of the objections as to Molmini Alonko and Nataje, whether they are Gambians or they are minors or any
I
other
think
contradictory
you see,
aspect.
I think
Go ahead, Lamin.
Okay, so Ajale, so now it becomes mandatory. Puru Amario Ning, I will file so new Kamanam Patika. Yalo, he talks about the law.
can
That
you
means
can you
law.
can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
yes, I
Can
can
you
hear
hear
you.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So at one point, Luako,
Well,
Isa Ning Kayatol be to accept.
yes,
Come
yes.
you
I
stop
was
my
just
opinion.
interjecting. I was yes. So you
Go ahead, Isfa.
no, I
If
was
you want,
what I was saying is
if you're not, go ahead.
about yes, the way your way of your way of pressuring IEC might not be our way of pressuring IEC. So if you believe there is a case to push for IEC or the revising code, you are free to do that. But that does if other people does not take that part, that doesn't mean they are the one that does not want free and fair election. You are the one that want free and fair election. After all, you have been doing the same old story for many years. You never win election, and you would never win elections. So
But but
if
but
you
yes,
have
yes, sir, yes, sir. If you are very interested in free
So
and fair
say,
election,
yes,
no,
of
Jovis,
course, I
Jovis,
am very much interested.
let me give you
I
a
am very much
sequence of
interested. Look,
events.
no.
there
Let me
Let
give
me
you.
come. Let me come. Yes, sir. If you are really interested in free and fair elections and democracy, I think elections are very sensitive issues. In an event that
if you
irregularities
think
has
there's
been,
something wrong with election process, you go to IEC and you go to court.
no, why your party is
If
not doing that?
he belief cannot be my belief.
Why
And
if do you really think that irregularity has been done during the process?
I did not say my party is not doing that. Neither did I said
Oh, okay. Then that's
I did not say my party is not doing that. What I did say is UDP have their own methodologies or methods of
doing
of,
it.
of approaching things.
Okay.
So their methods cannot be our methods. That's
Okay.
what I'm saying.
So okay, what is
That
your
is
method?
not affirmation
What
or
is
denial
NPP's?
of our party. Either
But
we
yes,
are
yes,
for or
yes.
against certain things.
To challenge IEC, it has been
We have
outlined.
right to keep quiet, not to go public with whatever we are doing.
No, but what I'm trying to say, these elections
That is
issues
that is.
are banned by the
Mhm.
law, right? But are banned by the law and regulations. That is, in an event that IEC did
Look,
something that is not in conform with the law,
look.
the
IEC
only
is not
place
board
to
of
go
contentions here.
is for you to go to court or follow the procedures. It's not about going and negotiate with IEC with regards to what they have done wrong. I think the best thing to do is to challenge IECs before the court, before the competent court, not consultations.
Nobody's negotiating with IEC. That is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is no. Don't misquote me. What I'm saying is UDP going to court does not mean that we also should go to court. If they have case, you go to court. If you have case, you go to court. And another political. We have over 22 political parties in this country. We are not only UDP and NPP here. We have so many parties in this country now. They all participated in voter registration processes. So if a particular party have issue, you go to court. That's what I'm saying. And nobody's condemning UDP by going to revising court or by doing anything. I am in for it all out. If they have evidence, they should go revising court. I trust our processes and our procedures. But me keeping quiet does not mean that I also agree with. I am part. I'm a culprit.
Okay.
That
I
cannot that,
understand.
that cannot be said to us.
Yes,
So
I
if
understand.
MPP does not go revising court, meaning that MPP is the one that helping people to register, let them go and prove it. The honor
Yeah.
is on UDP to go and prove whatever they allege.
Yeah, the burden is on them. Yeah, so Lamin, I want us to touch this last topic. We've delved into IC's matter, rigorously. But I want to start with Yusuf. I know you can hear me. Um, no, let me start with Lamin. Lamin, there is a lot of, lot of animosity recently in our political space, especially when it comes to these tribal lines and tribal comments. Um, you know, but I will start with Yusuf. Yusuf, why is it that NPP hardly
Ako,
come out to
but
challenge?
let me put something up before you issue out lot of jokes. You see,
Uh,
covering IEC Nada Findida in public, Ako, they have 212,000 new registers. Molmine alonko supplementary ole sotoje. Then they gave these political parties what you call flash drive of the numbers that they have from the supplementary registration. And then in those flash drive, you have less than 200,000, 180 something thousand, you will back on. For you, the numbers many along IEC are pronounced in public that they have 212,000. And the numbers that they gave them in the flash drive, are they not concerned about that? Because everybody is concerned. UDP is concerned. Every opposition party had made claims either publicly through a writing of a communique or media space here invite. Everybody is talking about where are the remaining numbers. But yeah, we are not hearing NPP saying where are these remaining numbers. For are they not concerned about the remaining numbers that IEC communicated?
Iswa bala feri, Iswa, yeje mo lafo. It's a bit behind though.
Go. I find a revising court. I'm not IEC. I don't work in IEC. So IEC, you remember the banda. They trust their numbers. If anybody have issue with that, the good thing is we all have the information at our disposal now. They are not keeping it to themselves. So all the parties are reviewing it. I'm sure UDP must be actively reviewing it, and they are ahead of everybody. So they are free to go to a revising court. All other parties, once they are done with the review, including MPP, and we found necessary, we deem it necessary to proceed to any level, we will do that.
Okay, that's understandable. As you can we move to the next topic now because we don't have time. We have like 10.
Let's proceed.
Yes,
Are we together?
yes, we are together.
Ah,
Yusfa, Yusfa, yeah, we are together. It's just that you are a couple of
ooh,
seconds behind. But I know
hello.
next week we're gonna have another program. Then you can try to regulate your connection, and then we'll have a very positive conversation. But it has been a great conversation, by the way. So this is gonna be our last topic of discussion.
Yes, next week is gonna be fine and better.
Yeah, so Yusuf, I wanted to ask you. I wanted to ask you. A lot of people pointed. I mean, I wouldn't say evidence are pointing, but a lot of commentators pointed NPP for concealing and condoning, tribal remarks in the country. They believe that the government have to have to come out with a very strong position, with a very strong position to condemn any tribal comment coming from the public, most especially within their political establishment because we believe that tribal comment does not really have any space in our political discourse, and these are some of the things that already put other countries into chaos. And then, as a nation, we don't want to get in there. Why is it that your party has not been very active to condemn when it comes to these tribal comments? Most especially within your party, we have seen people that did it, and then even some prominent individual, influential individual did the same thing. But we haven't seen your people commenting on it. What went wrong? What is the problem with your party?
Can you be specific with your question? Like condemn how? Condemn which of tribal comment? What exactly is the tribal commentary have been made in this country from everywhere? So which one is
So,
the specific
so
that
I'm
necessitated
talking about
NPP
the
to
recent.
condemn it?
I'm talking about the recent tribal comments. Just to mention few, like the issue of the Sidinjai, happens, and then of course, just recently, Baba is also tribal comment. Are you not concerned? Are your party not concerned? And why
Yes.
is your party didn't come out with any
Okay.
concern?
Thank you for that. For me personally, I do not condone any tribal commentary from any angles. I condemn any tribal commentary from any angles. Be it derogatory, be it belittleness, be it anyhow you made mention of it. I think that it has no place in our society, and then we should not entertain it. And it has a potential in breaking relationship, everlasting relationship, including unions, and it had the potential of breaking the whole country. And then we really don't need it. And for me, I think it's for weak people that play politics with ethnicity. Strong, idealistic people doesn't play ethnic politics. What they play is they do politics with policies and programs, and trying to convince people by way of agreeing with them on a mutual basis. For me, that's my stand.
So, but useful. I mean, like what I'm trying to put forward here is like when I talk about condemnation, you have your wall, like you have a
Any
Facebook, you have a yeah, I can hear you. You have a Facebook wall, you have your comments, and you attend a lot of programs.
okay, as
Why
a,
is it that you don't come out to speak about this when it was actually happening in your party? Because I know useful, like I know you the kind of person you are. I know you're not gonna condone this, but why is it that it was difficult for you to come out?
actually, well, for I know for me, I'm a very careful person in terms of some of these things. Not because I appreciate or I like it or I don't like it. I believe there are certain things that we should not fall it. Because in this country, sometimes, you know, over condemning things become so fueling and people, the other party becomes so defensive. If you can neutralize somebody or a problem without going all out, for me, I would rather take that part than just going all out and condemning and getting to a point where the other part also have to react. Because at the end of the day, the some of these rhetorics should not be accommodated, and also we should also create a room to making people understand that what they did or the actions, the consequences of the action, not only on them as as a person, but in the country as a whole. So for me, that's very critical for me. That is why some of these if you look at, if you follow me very well, I do not quickly drag myself into this some of the dangerous rhetorics that have a potential of bringing our country down. And that's because I believe that we should sometimes de-escalate the tension as against escalating. Because, people are fond of, coming out and condemn. Some people condemn not because they want to condemn it. Some people condemn because it comes from someone else. And when another person does it, we all in this country here, people choose and pick on which to condemn and who not to condemn. So even now, you are seeing some people are coming and speaking for certain people, trying to say that this person killed them. So this is here. So for me, these are the things that I don't really quickly get into, because for me, my public life, I focus on advancing the cause of my political party and advancing unity among our young people, portraying the positive part of life and encouraging people to know that there's a greater things out there when what we can do for our country, as against being part of the negativity, trying to bring each other down. That's not what I believe in. That's not why I decided to go all out public, to create an atmosphere for my party. For me, that's my stand internally. When I have my strong views on some of these things. Just like I just said to you, I strongly believe that a weak people do tribal politics. I do not believe that a
Um,
stronger people, that people with ideas, people that have a conviction, people that know what revolve around the world, what it takes to build a society, cannot be banking on ethnicity or religious bigotry. To me, anyone
um,
I saw, and it also show who they are. To me, that's how I see
yeah.
it.
Yeah, so Yusuf, before I go to Lamin, I just want to ask this simple question to you. Yusuf, you have traveled all around the world and you have seen what these kind of issues has led a particular country to. To give you the specific country, Rwanda, and then as a result, they decided to ban any tribe. Nobody has to call anybody a Tutsi or a Hutsi just to rebuild the country. And then you know the destruction that it has done in other nations. Why is it that your government, that is the President Adam Barrow and his government, are not taking a very strong and robust stand to condemn and to make sure that these tribal rhetorics are ended. Do we have to believe on other political commentators saying that it's a political benefit for President Barrow for this to
No,
continue?
let me give you one example. No, let me give you one example. No, let me give one example. Just Imam Babali, what happened, it was very unfortunate. Even if that is his perspective, he didn't mean to go out with it. Imam Babali cannot stand anywhere on podium and say this kind of statement. He will not do it. But somehow it happened and the mic was on. So it's one thing to understand the remark itself is very wrong. He shouldn't have even thought that way. But our Gambia reality is it has gone out publicly. Now people should now be cautious on how to come after Imam Babali. Because we all have our private thinking inside. Then you want the Kune, there's something that you distinctively you believe in. Man, the other day I was in bank program, I said it. There was someone who once tells me, I'm supporting President Bado because he is Sarahule. Is that not tribalism? Even that is a personal.
Mhm.
You are telling me I cannot understand policies. I don't know what is good for me and what is good for my people. I'm only supporting the president and because of ethnicity. So I told that person in return that then it's only fair for me to also think that you are also supporting whoever you are supporting because of ethnic. I see my logic. So
Mhm.
Lee, this thing is not something that we should pretend about it. That's the reality in Gambia. People are in this country believe so much in tribalism and they demonstrate it across the board. People are saying NPP therefore again condemn. What do you want NPP to condemn in the first place? Which one? Is it the one that everybody is talking about? I mean, Baba Lee for me, anybody that commit an error, the honor is on you to come and apologize to Gambian and whoever you offended and apologize. Because at the end of the day, it's not about condemning and condemning. I mean, the government is not condoning any tribalism. If you look at how the government operates, do you see government appointment, government operation is been tribal line? Sometimes, in this country, people insult certain tribes, they will not go out. Not because they cannot go out, but because they believe pursuing the person who did the wrong and making him understand he is wrong without following it is a greater way. If other person have another idea, you go with that. Recently, I was in the platform yesterday. Mama Kande made mention of on the age registration, and he even made mention of Sarahule. That is tribalism. But Sarahule does not decide to go all out against Mama because we believe Mama must have said this, but he know the consequence, and Mama have never come back again because to justify that statement of us. Was that statement of Mama right? Sarahules could have foiled that statement of Mama and make it a big issue. But we don't choose that. We choose peace over anything. So, and we engage Mama on what
But
people
it's
engage.
not
So,
peaceful.
but
Sorry, before I go to Lami, it's not peaceful. These are dangerous comments, and then this can put
that's
country
no,
into
I'm
place.
coming. I'm
No, no.
coming. I'm trying to
Let
make
me
it.
let me learn to condone it. I'm not saying that to accept it, but remaining silent over these issues, and then you have a state that can
No,
actually
we
address this.
honest.
You know, I do not think. I mean, remaining silent is a very absolute
No,
way of dealing
honestly,
with this
like
matter.
from you are talking about my personal perspective or our party. I think I've said my part. You are telling about the party part, right?
Hmm.
For my part, I said I don't easily fuel some of this crisis, not because I appreciate it. I was in a platform 2 days ago. I condemn in totality that what Imam Babali said. Either is in English or Mandinka or any language he said is wrong to even think that way. Do you understand?
I
And I
understand. You
believe
even condemn it here, but what I'm trying to say, why is it
yes.
that you don't put
So
it on
why
paper? Like you don't put it on
like I said,
writings?
I don't normally I don't
Or why?
it's not my style,
Whereby your party
to
members and everybody will say, "Oh, Yusufa is not happy with this." It's not mean that you are escalating. You are not escalating anything here. The
I,
fact is, you are condemning something that need to be condemned because remaining silent
but I
would
have just
actually.
done it. I have just done it here.
All right,
I
I'll
think
move
this
to
is
Lamin
best way
now.
of condemning it. This is best way of condemning by facing the camera and telling the whole world is wrong.
Yeah,
So to me,
that's commendable.
sometimes,
That's
yes,
commendable.
I think that if I want to be brave, I think this is the way to be brave. Sometimes, I mean, like I said, I don't have to. comment on every single thing. But once opportunity avail itself, I mean, we speak our mind on issues that we think are critical because Gambia fee, so we have to, we are kids, we are the young ones. So we
Sure.
have to be part of a Gambia that will go greater than we met it. We didn't want to, live in a Gambia that we've met. We have responsibility to the generation to come to make sure that we push Gambia from where it is to the next level. So
Yeah.
I mean, basically, that's my belief, and that's what I
Uh,
work towards. And
you did good. I
yeah,
think that's commendable. I mean, what's your reaction on that? He argued that they have a way of dealing with it, which I do not actually subscribe to. But I don't know what's what did he have on top of that. But it's good that he condemned it, and I really appreciate that. Yeah.
No, but yeah, long. Government mu institutionality, use from individual, and it's important that our individual stance as far as Ninko Betu is concerned. I know Yusuf will not condone this. That's very true. Yusuf mu independent person, and me along Kemiral independently. I've interacted with him. But I think as a collective, they need to do better because Nimanke the first time. I can give him 2, 3, 4 examples of this. You remember a whole NPP platform was used where the president was seated by the late the mobile force. I mean for to fund this rhetoric that Niman Kolchita be Minkela Sio Dolaja. President be Siri Wodulaton. That is one. Na sekumbalo fana mwela ka for one particular community or tribe that being to lebe dulal to miya lonko dula kuma bal na molle bije woto alkana sila nyimban kunka. Ondo abofo ka molle mini alonko e manke banku dingolti. Bari abofo ka wole dalilo min kamala wole mu to lebe dula kuma to bi alkana sila nyimban kunka. Yombora je nadanga another person for within the same party, Mimu Sidin Jaiti, doubled as the deputy speaker in the parliament and also the deputy IPRO of the NPP. Ngo fana nadi amo fana moy den alen kana mata anata dunia anata fenko betu. Then ni nadanga moy baba li fana ba fokan. Then this is not something me alan ko job is nandanga deal in isolation. It's a concerted thing me along go mo jamalle ba foka anu nyullem bi nyaton kolti nyimbankunka. Imam Babali is a whole imam. Me along go, hundreds of people or thousands of people like Asala Kom. Thousands of Gambians like Elamwe ala Samon Sola. And he's also working in the Human Rights Commission. Ngalone niko human rights. Human rights deals with the biological aspect of human being. Iwuluta nyaming, alieda nyaming. Those are rights mili along ko they are inalienable. Yo, ninata nga sidinja fananjibe. It's not a small person in the National Assembly of the Gambia, but also it's not a small person in NPP. You talk about the Let Them Mobile Force. It's not a small person in NPP. You talk about Che Kumbalo. It's not a small person in NPP. You talk about the president himself. At one point, he was seated somewhere in Kiang saying that Maninka community win. We had the president inviting tribes into the state house. Anika kachalikeje, ikamune kachabi. President Obesila Wato Minna, the already divided tribes that we have Nimbankunka, war is already there for all to see. Jamele woke jang ando I sembo soto bake kasiol fay nyoka. So kabrin president unata, it should be a reconciliation process kaje komi tribal be to a killing. Ne president jibe fon bi, president Obama mum floati, afama manding code anungalo ala sister tata futu si jamalle. So he should be that embodiment me along ko be anyanta gambenul mako la keno badin killing ti siol la karot. But ninko fon yaka siol invite in a form of cocoons, in a form of kimpins kaje komi okay man ninka ka kunsul alnana fula ka kunsul alnana nyindol alnana what akamunda the president is also showing the discord pour kaje siol kana ke killing. But I always don't want to speak without putting recommendations on the table. I think the only recommendation means Bondino to discourage this is through legislation. Because parliament na do ko mupurka je ko animan sakunda ko ku minsa nyimbang kuntinya a legislation to discourage it. At one point nyon mansa no siata nyimbang kun kambake molka president on nem balafiria kamala min diate molka député nem minister nem balafiria to some extent fon ike bal nem fon wol mu kule de mini alonko e ka condemn wato amanna keno. Then there was an attempt to have a legislation around it, but alhamdulillah be jobis mol min ka president on nyimbang kun ka wotalat and some of the elders that are working in government. So why can't we have the same legislation to discourage this tribal rhetoric? So that nin Tunkara yafo, and there is evidence that Tunkara is either in audio or written, ngat aita courts. And then if Tunkara is found guilty, why not ngake in a way Tunkara will have 7, 8, or 10 years. And then because of that divisive tribal rhetoric. So that you will discourage. You will discourage me, you will discourage Jovis, you discourage others. Because if this is not punishable, Jovis, nimma punishment la yung call. But
Yeah. I think Lamin got the call over there.
not long ago,
Okay.
Iko Babali natal koteke, I okay to for me,
Go ahead.
you know, Babali findita nanne, kamol apologize. But imagine Babali la alfaya be nimbang kung kanja nyam, Babali be dinning ole kuluka. If a person like Babali can be doing this kind of thing, ka for sama nyente kana ka apology leke, si dinya nyente kana ka apology leke and others that were mentioned. Job sakam that we are not even factual. Mantra to nyale fo kanyu. People needs to be punished for their actions. This is why even in some medias, it can serve a disclaimer that the amount min kafojang are the views of those media for. So that people are responsible for their action. So why can't we have this in a legislation form so that we discourage it? Because ni nyimbangu ndunda problem okono. Nteni Tunkara be at one point we will not be thinking about our political party differences. But how do we bring our families together? And then we cannot also bring our families together because mother munyinet, ila father munyinet, ila sister tarafruin. So how can you even reconcile those people? Legislation should be something me along could be. The political will should be there. This is a national urgency. Within the duration of 2 months, we've seen 2 serious senior officials of this government, many along divisive tribal rhetoric. There needs to be a legislation to deal and cope with this matter. Whether Tunkara will also see a legislation as a preferred solution to this or a condemnation, always a condemnation. The condemnation is now boring to me. I think there needs to be responsibilities to people's actions.
So yeah, what's your recommendation?
I think I concurred with that. I concur with that. And you should promise that if you go to parliament next election, you will put up a bill for that.
Both
You
of
should
you,
promise
both
us
of
for
you.
that.
we cannot afford not to have both of you in the parliament, regardless of the electoral outcome. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, it has been a very, I mean, great session, having both of you here this evening. I'm really thrilled. It's just that we've been here for an hour and a half. So it's been a great day. So I will allow each of you to make your last statement. And from there, we can end this conversation. Next week, we are going to be here back to have a conversation on different aspects, different topics, different issues. Tungara, I mean, election or 3 months,
Yes.
4 months to the election or tema. And in network of like from better side. Man, for honorable CDC, Fengo Senior number, Mega Bass Senior number, activate on Mara.
Yeah, saya ngas sweet lagi, sweet tele. Sweet
So,
tele. Ya long.
so
But
Lamin ko
yes,
nale
yes.
ako nale combo bori janal ba futal yuara o batra paretal bala.
Ungo.
So what's your reaction?
Ya fundamental very simple. 75% la tagedo an nanin tagedo. Ndel main tagedo ka nin tagedo mandara on platform de. Ndel we systematically plan for this 75 and inshallah we will deliver it. It's December benalal nala sonda. If you boga ya for drum. From Jang, from Katong to Koina, we are going to have a landslide. UDP would not have the 20,000, the 200,000 that they used to have. I can assure you of that.
For UMC la ko mal sila bage. I mean, the third
UMC
force.
Jama.
The third force.
UMC Mindo. Where UMC ya boda Mindo.
But UMC is third force. I mean, other
Which
political
that
parties
for? That
cannot.
was from where? Where is their vote? In the next case of Mindo. The 50,000 Taliban yasro UDP Talem. Fire Fanandal. Mama can come with 100,000 vote. UMC Muneba Bulu.
So you want to tell us that you are not afraid of UMC?
From where?
You're gonna have a conversation next week. I'll bring UMC.
The bottom line is this election is about UDP and NPP. Yes, we have to look after UDP. Nyandela Ko Jubila Kendeke. We have to monitor them very well. We are very, very much on that. Manda UDP, we are not taking them for granted. We are not wiping any political party out of the equation. But I can assure you, this election is between NPP and UDP. Any other person that come, they are just coming on film. And maybe they have a lot of money to waste. And Gambians, we need that. So people will take their money, but that they will not get anything in return. I can assure you. SFL have tried. What happens to him? He never come back. You can't come from nowhere and you think that people are just mad. They will follow you because you think you are nice, you have good pictures. Come on, man. That's not how it works here. People are not stupid.
I mean, Dr. Sisi has shaped you into a very powerful politician now. I mean, Lamin, what's your reaction on that and your last word? We're gonna have a conversation over there this week.
Well, Jovis, min bije dorong. Alhamdulillah, ang kay kachadiata bari. Kata ni Yusufal dorong, banko dingol mil bi la problem multi so long imol sort out. Yani ye la bakol start ke pack. And wolman sort out nyimbang kungkang because ngaje mol la tango be nyimbang kungkang nyaming. Bi purka yai ni sati fon kono ni fin hanin tol alifal. Mol sa fe hakilo du sati kono. So imagine nil ben tol koto wala kol be nyadi. And hani Yusuf be nyamin dending. Yusuf be silarin the to his neck. Ala balula nyimbang kungkang nyam. You talk about the sovereignty crisis fana. Bankola Bodal Hain and Sciententi, you saw Bodal Minto, somewhere in URR called Barofo Boda Daminto with Kande, Jimara, Mol Botela Kunkolto, because of a sovereignty crisis, Mimbo Blood. Job is B. Banko jam purka dasam kendo fonke niali bela fla kemefula bondela purka mbur kendo ni menes on
I commended UDP for standing with the government when it comes to the crisis management at the borders. So they've done well. I thank
you. Until we always bring facts and then we provide solutions so that Barofana because look, sovereignty crisis mubanko be a crisis late. At one point we should not be so political to the point that mole dunne na banko be to tambulo kono. Sama nyinya ton kol bebe fala lenteni sol bebe fala ntol dingol lebina. Nincha anda phone dingol nate mambanku sobe taraja. Womun tolela failure. It is in our lifetime you should protect. During Jarole lifetime ngajela I mean protect from borders ngajela jamme minke baro mi and nim baro bodi min fana nyentenala. So this is a collective approach that we are doing, and then our party leader also made good contribution, and then I think Yusuf is appreciating that. But nteka mi fe dorom banko foninkel mo sonteni Yusuf mi alon ko binjita university ngalon ne do ko la kolyabe nyimban kun kanja nyami ngamol jele miljita university with cum laude magna cum laude summa cum laude bi mantara do kula no dolje mantara do feta da service le kono policial immigration and whatnot.
This we are not great. Service is great.
Yes, service is great, but Yusuf, when we are going,
if you take over power, you need to have an intellectual means in the forces.
Yeah,
yes.
That should not be. I am all in. I am all in for
people
my
should
colleagues
not go to service.
from university joining services. If I have my way, I will join service. I would love
people
to serve
should not select service because that is the only opportunity on the table. There should be at least a very reasonable number of opportunities on the table so that they will make choices out of that. Because we were at the same time, colleagues at the university. I know their ambitions. I know the places that they want to work. Being the same trajectory, then I should be like, well, there is only one option on the table. And as a state, you cannot provide only one option for the young graduates. So it's something me alone, I am not discouraging. But what I am discouraging is that there is only one opportunity on the table that
People going to services. America have a great servicemen and women. Russia have great servicemen and women. China have great servicemen. All over the world, great countries push their intelligent people to go to the services.
No.
We shouldn't have a problem with having a smart and intelligent young people going to services. You are in America. You know American police force, federal police, state police. You look at American army. They have a very great intelligent people that who have a PhD. Some come with US. Some
but
come
you are right. I mean,
American military with the
you are right at some degree, but you are right at some degree. But what Lamin is trying to say that there should be avenues.
What Lamin is trying to do is to play down as the service is not some. I mean, if the Gambia government can only employ people to go to service, it's a great thing because we want security sector reform, right? How can we get effective when we don't have people like this?
But how can we pay those? How can we pay 200,000 people while their service is not needed?
No, what I'm saying is they don't recruit. They recruit based on need. But I am all in. For me, I am very proud. When I see my friends that I have spent 4 years together in uni, I always check on them. To be honest with you, I always call them. I always check on because I want to make sure that we stay connected. Because the energy we build at UTG, while I'm putting the energy to push the country at the political level, at the policy level, they are pushing the energy to pushing the country to make sure that our sovereignty is protected and in our guided. So if you found ourselves in a position of authority, it's going to be very easy for us to shape the face of this country.
Yeah, service is a great thing.
So
Let me go ahead.
Jovis, Yusuf Nyanta Jibelale, Banco.
After they pull this, so
Banco can develop based on needs.
Okay,
Andala
Lamin,
dalle
summarize.
fitro sidale.
Lamin, you have 2 minutes.
Kabrim
You have 1 minute to summarize. You spoke of it.
Kabrim Barosi the for B. Was there a need for having a lot of young men and women in uniform? When you need young men and women in strategic sectors of the economy so that we can tackle unemployment, we can tackle every other aspect of our governance system. Because
Yes, your last word.
security is still under
Lamin, we
the
will talk
ministry.
about security next week. Next week, we're going to have a program on security.
No,
Summarize.
for me, he is trying to
I
say that
summarize.
President wala more employment or security is
No,
very,
it's
very
not only
important.
that, because even last week, the Bureau of the Gibos have released a job, job statistics. We have there's a significant increasement in our job sector. And if you look at
Hey,
right now, Gambia, since Barrow came
Joyce,
to power, across the sectors, GRA, GPA, Social Security, government institution, if you don't have a BAC, you can't get a job.
you see?
Incredible.
That's so how much
So
government is paying
why do you
premium.
need great,
As if
great,
we talk
great
about
country?
employment, Dr. Malmo is going to be here next week. We're going to about employment.
Hey.
As you summarize and we go.
Okay, so tell me for rek mbe banko for ninke be kumandila na most milbe civil service kono ani milia lonko they are on the
NPP support.
employed and unemployed. Cafe komi change is on the horizon. At the right candidate now, milia lonko as a reform commander in the civil service, as a reform commander in bringing in a new constitution, as an employment horizon on yeleno wolem usenu ANM daboti banko dingolele ka rete kaya dilal adama baro ya katale fanang ala tamo fanang aya mimbe to kenoje we might not go back to do the same things. So government is a continuation. Whatever that he does, we will continue from there. Adama has shortcomings, and then the new government will come to continue from the shortcomings of Adam, like what Adama did with Jame and like what Jame did with Jawra. Mo kilingota tambila no ka banko samba anu ngajo ko me after to the point that abatata because of sector lebije ame samano over these 10 years. Nina the construction na Karola, let's say sila dedal ning kodol. In as much as we discuss about the qualities of this road, but if you come into governance December 5th, maybe these roads might not be a fundamental crisis.
No, you will not come. It's supposed to be it's supposed to be January 18th.
Because Baro has consistently failed to address the software of this country, concerning the hardware of this country. So Ntolnata Purka software of this country will develop. This is why we are saying give us the mandate, one-time mandate, and then we will give you reforms. Milia Alonko will be a stepping block for generations to come. Thank you so much, Jovis.
Thank you so much, and thank you everybody who has been watching us. Please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel because so a lot of people watching us. But I'm not subscribe, and I'm not subscribe. The man camera pack la na fight yo.
I can assure you that teachers will not vote for them because they were once threatening of being sacked if they protest. So definitely they will not vote for Zenedab. So thank you for having me.
Thank you, Yusup. Barka baga, barka Lamin. No, ali ala time modal nada purka ko nale kachajang. Akarenyo content kubari. Hope to have you all soon because I'm gonna have a program with Buba Gajiko and then we're gonna have both of you on that platform. It's gonna be a very, very interactive platform. I really like seeing, my guy in this beautiful afternoon and with heart. I'm seeing National Assembly members, I'm seeing my names here, that Ninara Gambia, ala parado, mfana sa dung ala parado kono,
Jumano kaya bala National Assembly member yala.
No, I'm happy. I will happy to see both of you in the parliament. That's what I'm saying.
Maybe you have interest. The more interest to follow.
Follow winner. Yeah, but I'm winner for.
Banya, Jovis. National Assembly. We are going for outright victory. December 5th. We are winning. What do you expect?
Thank you.
We shall see.
We have a whole coalition behind us. Vibrant NPP alliance.
But
Five youth movement.